Welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing on Talk 910, the show where we present valuable information about real estate, the financial markets, and other economic business of the day. And for those of you listening for the first time, believe it or not, we have a lot of new listeners. Few people sitting around a bar having drinks without the drinks, talking business with you, the audience listening in. I'm your host, Edward Brown. I'm pleased to have as my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, California's fastest growing private lender. Kathryn Harris, CPA of Karate and Karate. We got to elevate the education here, so we have a CPA as one of our co-hosts. And Robert Schiff of RPM Mortgage. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Please write that number down. 888-912-1190. You writing that number down, Robert?
Do it again.
Okay. 888-912-1190 because you're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during each commercial break. You got it. We're giving away 9 vacations during this show. Now, the vacations are not sponsored by the radio station, but by Lighthouse Resort and Marina located 1 hour northeast of San Francisco. The vacations are free. Their only request, a $75 cleaning fee to cover housekeeping expenses. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. You can reach them at 916-777-5511. And today's trivia theme is the movie A Christmas Story. Do you remember that from 1983?
Very appropriate. Yes.
Of course, because we're coming into...
And every year thereafter.
Yeah.
Maybe Kathy will get some of the questions right this time.
That's yeah. We always tease her.
I don't want to tell you what year I'm born in.
No, that's true. That's true. Okay, now Kathryn, why don't you start off, because you were talking about predictions for 2014 since we are at the last day of November. By the way, happy Turkey Day for everyone and Black Friday.
Yes.
Hopefully everyone got
And
their
be
turkey.
ready
Speaking of which,
for-
I'm still full from, I don't know about you guys, but what's the deal with, now the stores were open on Thanksgiving. It used to be like you couldn't even go grocery shopping on Thanksgiving. You had to have everything purchased by Wednesday, then everything was closed on Thursday, so all the families could get together, and then you had the Black Friday thing. Well, now they're just
Which used to happen at 8 a.m. on
right,
Friday.
8 a.m.
Yeah.
And now they just,
Now
they're
it's,
open.
Thanksgiving at
3:08.
7 a.m.?
Now it's
Yes.
3:08.
Yeah.
3:08. Yes, exactly.
And then there used to be Cyber Monday, but now every day is Cyber Monday because, who doesn't buy lots of stuff from Amazon and Zappos and all
Well,
those
it's
great
because
places.
Thanksgiving is so late. There's fewer days for Christmas shopping, so they have to get started.
That's not
And they're all the same.
Well, that
it's
sounded
all the
good.
same.
That sounded very
Didn't
good,
it?
but I saw before Halloween they started putting up the Christmas decorations.
Yes, well, and all the sales that they're offering online now.
Well,
It's
and
everywhere.
Walmart was, the stories about Walmart is that their sales are down, and there's all kinds of articles written about why that might be. But for them to be open up on Thanksgiving.
You know what they should just do? What I do is keep the Christmas lights all year round.
Yes.
Just keep the Christmas decorations all year round.
So that's how retail deals
Dress
with
the
it.
holiday for the holiday that's appropriate. So for Easter, Santa's going to be dressed up as
As a
Easter
bunny,
Yes.
and
Well, holidays only serve
4th of
the
July.
retail industry anyway, right? I mean, that's why we have holidays is for consumerism.
Yes.
That's everything's been consumerized. So it's just support your local economy. Buy.
Well, do you remember Seinfeld, Festivus?
Festivus, yes.
With the pole and everything?
And they now have, which is actually, I support it, is the local businesses on Saturday. So now that they have this
Oh, that's cool.
the Black Friday and this Black Monday, they're now offering the
Local Saturday.
local Saturday.
See, that's before Cyber Monday. That way you save some money by doing the Saturday. So that
Yes.
support the businesses. So, Kathryn, you've got that crystal ball. What
So
does it tell us?
Oh, and more. And I would love to get your gentleman's opinion on what you think will happen in 2014. But looking back in 2013 and what we know will be coming up in 2014, there is the new laws that have an impact on the mortgages and how it's going to be. They've said that there's going to be more requirements. It's going to be harder to get approved for a loan. The process will take longer.
That's good. That's actually good for Mark.
Good for hard money guys.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's one aspect. There is the Federal Reserve. They talk about for the last 8 months they just tease everybody with their discussions about quantum easing and whether they're going to ease their policy or not.
Did you say quantum easing?
He
Is
did.
that like some kind of physics that I don't know?
It's even beyond me.
Quantitatively
Is it
so.
quantitative? Yeah.
Quantitatively
I don't know. I kind of like
Gotta tease
quantum.
it. Yeah, I
Oh,
like
there we go.
quantum.
Quantitative.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's okay.
Quantitative.
It works.
It
is a
Kathryn,
Monday.
It works for me.
Yeah.
It's quantum hardening.
Yeah.
Yes,
QE.
it is a Saturday.
Too much
and,
wine at Thanksgiving.
QE too.
We all had a hard Thanksgiving, I guess. So
Yes.
that's okay.
Thank
But
you.
go ahead.
With the cider, the hard cider.
And my notes only say QE. I got
I
too
don't know.
tired.
Yeah, well, it's a tryptophan. It's still.
So there's
Go
that
A
aspect.
trip to where?
No, go ahead. Turkey, yes.
There's that aspect, and that has been an impact and has had an impact, I believe, on the economy and just the decisions that Americans have been making. You just talked about Walmart, and sales are down. People are holding off on purchase. Are they holding off on purchase because of this uncertainty? So in addition to just the Federal Reserve, then there's just the federal government and their budget, and it seems like every 3 months or so there is a budget deal that must be decided, and always gets down to the last minute. And the last time was in October when they went after the last minute in that decision. So I'm kind of curious
That'll
to see.
start the year.
So what you're
Coming
saying
in
is
Exactly.
January.
So what you're saying is there's a lot of variables at play here that can affect what happens to the stock market, the real estate market, interest rates, the economic growth, GDP.
Exactly.
In the midst of all this uncertainty, the stock market is reaching its highest levels ever.
Right,
Yes.
so are we in a bubble? Those are the new articles. So we've
That's-
got articles
Well,
this
the-
quarter about the real estate bubble and the stock market bubble now, and which I don't know that I believe either of those cases.
I don't think there's effervescence there as much as some people say. I mean, the stock market is at the highest, but the price to earnings ratios are not at the highest they've ever been. They're certainly higher than normal, but within an acceptable range. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. But going back to these predictions for just a minute. Okay, so with
She didn't actually predict anything.
No, I'm
She just
sorry.
said,
did.
like-
I know. I'm more.
She said
I'm
there's a lot of variables out there that are going to
That's
impact
true.
what
Yeah,
happens
that
next
is
year. So
correct.
something's going to happen next
Something's
year.
gonna
Exactly.
Okay,
So-
I'm
so-
gonna be a total
then-
CPA.
then the
It
count-
depends.
It depends,
So
yeah.
uncertain.
Okay. So hold on now. So these new rules are going to be good for you, Mark, in the hard money loan business.
Well, the new
because
mortgage.
the mortgage.
Yeah, what
New
are they?
mortgage rules, people
Qualifying
already
mortgage.
are worried
It's-
because they're already in effect.
It's going to be
actually.
good for you, Kathryn,
De facto,
because being
yes.
a CTA, people are going to come to you saying, "Kathryn, help! I have no idea what's going on."
Explain the
Explain.
healthcare law and what does this mean to me?
Or-
Everything.
Or as Ricky used to
You
say,
did read it, didn't you?
"Explain this to
Oh,
me, Lucy."
Explain it.
Okay, and will this be good for you, Robert?
Well,
mean-
will it be good for me? If I can explain to people when they come to me and say, "What's going on? I'm not understanding it," like some people did today, that's good. People are wanting some clarification and they're uncertain as to what they can qualify for, and I can certainly help assist them and try to clarify things for them. It's not that much different than it's been, although in the last 5 years it's been different and changing
It's been
all
a
the
wild
time
ride.
in the
Yes.
same direction. Always more difficult for people to qualify for a loan.
Always. Okay, we're going to get into a lot of that a little bit later on. We're going to cut to our first commercial break. And before we actually hit the trivia question, we had a special contest
We
last
did,
week.
yes.
Remember that? The winner.
You got to say the question again for
Yes,
Kathryn's benefit. See if she can guess it.
But you never give us the answer, and I just have to go home and figure it out.
No, you'll get the answer on
Oh,
this
okay.
one. Yeah, because this was asked last
Okay.
week. Okay, so let me say what the winner won. Won a beautiful night stay at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel with breathtaking views of the city, restyled rooms and suites, and one of the city's best restaurants. Mandarin Oriental San Francisco aims to delight with its Oriental charm. Mandarin Oriental is within walking distance of the Fisherman's Wharf, Union Square, Chinatown, and the Ferry Building. With 158 elegant rooms and suites and incredible views of the city, the bay, or San Francisco's iconic bridges, it is the perfect destination for a relaxing staycation. Oh, you like that word, staycation. Their new spa offers a range of luxury treatments. Check them out at www.mandarinoriental.com/San Francisco. And this was Mark's favorite question here. All right. Here was a question. Almost 70% of men have done this to please their woman, even though they didn't want to. What? And I said, Mark, it's a clean show.
I have no idea.
Okay, the answer was.
I have to think about
You
it.
gotta think about that. This is a tough one. Ready?
Do the dishes.
No. Well, okay. No, that
It's a
would've
clean
been,
show.
that would have
Vacuum.
been good. No. See a movie they didn't want to see. Now,
A
Mark,
chick flick.
yeah, Mark, you and I can relate to that. Now, okay, I did cry
Yes.
when I saw Beaches and still no. Yes.
Because you missed
I'm
it.
just kidding, but that was an anomaly.
Because you missed the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of kidding about that. Okay, and our winner was Steve in Castro Valley. My guess is that his wife makes him see a lot of movies he doesn't want to either. Okay, now we're going to go to our first commercial break trivia question. Again, the theme is the movie A Christmas Story. Remember in 1983 with Ralph and all those fun things? Okay. What was the weird prize Ralph's father so proudly displayed for all of the neighbors to see, much to the dismay of Ralph's mother? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day two-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. And by the way, if you ever watch the ESPN show Pardon the Interruption, they have all these kind of weird things up there with Kornhauser and the other guy. They actually have this as one of their props.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. The website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What was the weird prize Ralph's father so proudly displayed? And he did it right in the window. For all of the neighbors to see, much to the dismay of Ralph's mother. One more time, 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, your email address, speak slowly, spell out your email one letter at a time. Don't touch that back. Don't touch that back. Don't touch that dial, because when the best of investing comes right back, we've got an interesting article here about free speech and how free it ain't.
Does anybody actually have
Ain't
dials anymore on their radio? Those
Yeah.
buttons.
No.
Oh,
In the car.
Some of the portable ones,
yeah.
like the solar ones,
Do you know the answer?
Yes, I was going to say fragile. It's fragile, right? No.
It's fragile.
He says it on the box. It's fragile.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Okay,
it's
so-
French.
yeah.
It's fragile. I actually know this one.
Yeah, all right.
I say that now. I'm going to say it in front
No,
of you.
but say the
right?
fragile. I like that. That's great. Fragile.
It's from France, right? Something like that.
Italian.
Or Italian. I can't remember. Yes. That makes much more sense.
How you doing, Mr. Kramer?
Okay.
Having fun already?
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Always.
So you know
So-
what model you ordered here of this new?
Model T.
Or anyway, you guys want an iPad?
Really?
It's the second generation iPad for $200. My fine.
From
200.
Mr. Dell?
So like it's the most recent one, so it's one version back.
Mine.
I'm assuming it's you, my partner.
Mark, is
partner
that from
came and
Mr.
asked,
Dell?
I'm like, I don't know.
Dell Computer?
That's a Dell, yeah.
I don't have one. I just have a desktop.
Stealing your
Yeah.
package.
Yeah, go
He said it was they started for $200. I don't, it's just he said it was the second version. Look up what the
It
iPad
doesn't
is.
say.
This is an Apple. This is an
It just
iPad.
has a
iPad.
item number.
Here, we'll give
Maybe
you
it's a big
partner,
iPad. Oh, you know what it is?
I'm used to
It's the old monitors.
Yeah, right.
It's about 12 inches deep. You know?
Cool.
Fun. Get your work cut out for you this weekend.
I'm not doing it.
Programs loaded. Oh, really? You gonna give it to somebody?
Yeah,
Good for you.
I
Just give me what it is and I'll ask the guys in my IT. if they
can't
can.
wait to do it.
We should stare at it.
Oh, I'm just trying to see what you're at Redwood Highway.
You
Mill
know where-
Valley.
They
You know
went
where
off
Ethan,
the-
you know where Ethan Allen Furniture was?
Yeah.
Right next door.
right there now.
Oh, because I've been to your old offices eons ago.
Right.
Oh,
When did you
that's
move there?
cool.
A year and a half
Is
ago.
that the one where McGuire used to be in?
No, Baeza Chiropractic was.
Okay.
Some palm readers.
Yeah, right next
Yes,
door.
there
So
is
they
right
said,
next to the
what do you
palm
think the
reader."
rates are going to be? And I said, wait a minute, I'll find out.
I'm still waiting for the headline palm reader or psychic wins lottery. Still haven't seen that yet. Right? You realize I put that mirror there so we can all kind of look pretty. Of course, does the back of my head look pretty?
Are you judging one of us?
Yeah.
My hair, I
It flattens my little
Yeah.
few hairs I have on my
I'm out
head.
of sight, I can't see.
You're out of sight?
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. You're
I
out of
looked good
sight.
this morning when
You're
I
out of
woke up.
Okay, I look good in the dark. Okay, you ready? I know, I realize
That's a phrase that you don't hear.
That's what kids do to you. Especially when you get the phone call I got.
Oh God.
They mess your hair up like that?
Very much so. Sarah got in a car accident.
Oh.
She thought it was her fault, then when we talked more, I realized to go, this may not be your fault. She's okay.
She's okay. Okay.
That's important.
That's more important.
She was crying. I've never seen her cry.
No, it's
Oh yeah.
Scary.
Car had to get
it's
towed.
then you know what a
Car
adrenaline
had to get
is.
towed. What are you doing to me?
I'm running out of tape, so I'm just doing.
You're eyeing me upside up and down. Okay, here we go. Ready? This is Fred G. Lee. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my co-host, famous Mark Hunt of Pacific Private Money, famous Kathryn Harris, CPA, Karate and Karate, and famous Robert Schiff of RPM Mortgage. When we got to the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question. Again, the theme is the movie A Christmas Story, which it plays like 24 hours a day, right around Christmas time. At some point, I just gotta start doing stuff on the TV. I have to change the channel. Okay, what was the weird prize Ralph's father so proudly displayed in the window for all of the neighbors to see, much to the dismay of Ralph's mother? Kathryn.
It was fragile.
Fragile.
It's because it's from Italy, right? It was a lamp, a lady's leg lamp.
That's right,
That's
a
the best way
leg
to describe
lamp.
it.
Very good, very good. Okay.
Leg of lamb.
Yeah.
Very good, Mark.
Yum.
He's such a funny guy. Okay, so I'm looking at this this article has been around for a little while, but I thought it was kind of interesting. It was talking about some company where this lady decided because she ordered stuff and it didn't come, she couldn't get her money back. I mean, there's just one complaint after another. She decided to write on one of those websites about,
Like a Yelp
Bad
type
review.
of
Yelp
thing.
type.
Yes.
I think it literally was
Oh,
Yelp.
okay.
And so she is now being sued for giving her opinion, which was fact, by this company because they say that she should have read the fine print when she clicked the "I want to purchase," and it says that in an effort to be fair and honest, blah blah blah, preventing libelous, thank you, content. You basically, your acceptance of the sales contract prohibits you from taking any action that negatively impacts this company, its reputation, product, services, employees,
wow.
You
management.
give up your First
Stop
Amendment.
it.
You give up your
Whoever
First Amendment
reads
rights.
So that's the EULA, that they are similar to that when you buy software. Agreement you're not supposed
Oh,
EULA, E-A,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
User
Ebola,
license.
it sounds like Ebola.
Ebola, no, not Ebola.
And it says here that should you violate this, that you provided a 72-hour opportunity to retract it. Otherwise, we're gonna bill you for $3,500 in legal fees and court costs. And they have done it. They've actually. I'm
Were
thinking.
they successful?
Well, don't know yet.
So then she could retract it.
Wait, let me
and
back
then
up.
go on the Yelp and say, I had to retract the following statement to avoid.
You know, that's actually what she probably should have done. That would have been good advice. She ignored it, so they went ahead and they are suing her. They hit her credit report. She's trying to refinance, and her credit score is down.
Oh,
And they're saying you got to pay this off before we'll go ahead and do it. So
That's really interesting. I don't know how I feel about that because I do sympathize with a lot of the businesses out there that have suffered from crazy people who've done negative Yelp reviews that are unwarranted.
well, they're blackmailing them. I've heard of restaurants that are saying someone said I will put in a bunch of negative reviews unless you give me a $100 certificate to your restaurants.
This is the way to battle back.
That's why
Interesting.
when you go to restaurants, all the waiters have recorders.
Yeah, they should. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into a little email time here. Catherine, the email we received for you, it says, how important is life insurance? And why are they asking you this question, being a CPA?
Well, I think it's when you visit with a CPA, we don't look at just a tax return. We go beyond that, past the tax return, and look at some of your investments and look at the entire picture of where you are in your life and make sure that you are as complete as you should be given where you are in your life. When you're in your 20s, or if you have children, or if you're in your 50s, what you need and the type of investments and what you need to have in your financial planning and to be financially healthy changes. And I think the first step, we're like your primary doctor before you go see a specialist, is at least kind of say, hey, that you've got an investment here, you've got other investments that may not be giving you the best results. And the most important one thing that's very important, some people don't realize some of the basic things that they need to have, is life insurance.
Okay, so you guys don't sell the life insurance, but you'll maybe look over their portfolio to make sure, let's say, that they have it, or that sort of thing?
Definitely, or just it's one of those questions where I'm sitting down with a new client is if I see that you have young children, I will ask about life insurance, or if you are somebody who is the sole proprietor. See, I have a living all day today. If you are the sole provider of income into your home and you have somebody who depends on you, you need to have life insurance. And people oftentimes don't think about that. They also may not think about long-term disability and other insurances that you need in the future should something not good happen. Trying to make it as nice as possible.
So when people come to
unexpected.
you to get your advice as an accountant, you're actually performing a service more like a financial planner, not just
Well, kind of a
looking at the
well-rounded.
More
a lot of
well-rounded.
financial
We
planners
won't
don't know
go
about
to that
taxes,
extent, but we will when we see something wrong or something that is the obvious. We'll bring it to your attention. We don't just stop and just hand you a tax return.
But,
We will
that's
then
really,
give you an advice and recommendations of who you should see.
that's really good because a lot of times accountants are just going to do what they're instructed. Do my tax return or provide a financial statement for the bank. But it's kind of nice that you're sort of taking the initiative and asking them ahead of time for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you from
must make for happy clients also.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
I'll tell you from experience, many CPAs, even though they say, they'll be proactive in working with you for planning, really just do the compliance work. And
That's a good
it.
point.
And you never hear from them except when they're asking for your tax return information for preparation. And that to me is very disappointing when you can't rely on your CPA to be part of your team to help for planning and strategy.
And I like that, and I wanted to ask, when it comes to life insurance, I did want to direct a question to
Yes.
you, is just what your opinion is about, for somebody who is in their 30s or their 40s who have young children, what would you recommend for life insurance, whether you think more of a term or you think whole?
Generally speaking, what I found is that if they're healthy and they're nice and young like that, we can get them a dirt cheap policy. I just gave someone a quote who's 28 years old, and the premium I think is locked in at $700 a year for $1 million for 30 years.
Oh, wonderful.
So in 30 years, I mean, a lot of things will change. They'll build up their portfolio. I'm not going to be like one of these typical insurance guys who go, oh no, you got to always buy the most expensive. What pays me the highest commission? That's crazy. But that in saying that though, if somebody's got a good amount of money that they need to invest, if it's done correctly, they could potentially get a whole life policy that'll give them a nice tax-free rate of return, provide them the insurance, flexibility, and we generally push it almost to the limit of what the IRS will allow. So, they came up with these things called modified endowment contracts. Basically, it was such a good deal for the investor that the insurance companies the IRS came in and said, wait a minute, this is too good a deal. You can't invest $800,000 in a $1 million policy. That's just you're getting too much of a tax-free benefit. So if you hear that from the IRS, gee, I guess you should probably try to push it to the limit because that's a good thing. So if it's done correctly, and the only way to do that is to run the numbers and make sure that people know how much it's going to cost. But usually, young family, they can buy a good cheap term policy from me, of course, Edward Brown, and then they can invest somewhere else.
So when you say term, it doesn't mean just for 1 year.
No, they could buy that, but I don't recommend it. We can get them cheap term for 10, 15, 20, 30, even 35 years.
And what that does, that provides a assurance that should something happen and you still have young children, there is going to be tax-free money there if you were to pass away that they could use to buy a house or provide the support that's necessary until those children are usually 18, 25. So that's why you usually
And
go
I'll tell you,
20,
you don't think it happens, but my mom, my dad was the sole provider, and my dad died at age 53, and he had a $25,000 policy of which he borrowed 10. So my mom got $15,000. So we literally had to rent rooms in the house. We could have had not a sitcom, but a reality show of that. So, for like this one guy, $700 a year locked in for 30 years. Now he can cancel at any time. So, he hits the lottery or something, just cancel the policy. But the insurance company cannot change it for 30 years. Can you imagine the peace of mind of just knowing, just don't even have to think about it?
And
what
that's one thing that you just said. It will never change after the
Yeah.
first year. Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't think anything can be like that except possibly a mortgage.
and let's say in 15 or 20 years from now, he's still paying only $700. That's a pretty good policy. So anyway, for more information on that, just leave your name and number and how much insurance you want to quote for and your age at our toll-free number of 888-912-1190, and I'll be glad to give you a free quote. Okay, tell you what, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got some very interesting questions for both Mark and Robert. Here is our second commercial break trivia question. Again, the theme is the movie A Christmas Story, which, by the way, I'm sorry, Kathryn,
Yes.
people need to get a hold of you when they want to at least have people, get an outside independent observation of what their portfolio looks like or just some advice. How do people get a hold of you?
I am with Prodding Cross CPAs. We're located in Larkspur. You can reach me on the phone by 415-461-8500. And yes, if you have any questions, we can look over your tax return. And if you want just a good review of just an initial kind of tip of the iceberg of your finances and your financial health, we can do that, and then maybe give you recommendations of who else you should see.
Very good. I like that. Totally independent. Okay. Sorry about that. I should have asked that before. Okay. Here is our second commercial break trivia question. Again, the theme is the movie A Christmas Story. What was the phrase Ralph's mother and Santa Claus used that discouraged Ralph about trying to discourage him about getting a Red Ryder BB gun? It was a famous phrase that they used throughout the movie. The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. I'm going to ask Mark this question. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190. Answer this question. What was the phrase that Ralph's mother and Santa Claus used to try to discourage Ralph about getting a Red Ryder BB gun? Which, by the way, I just bought one myself.
For yourself?
Yeah.
For fun? Or
Yeah,
is it for,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes the kids need a little bit of, you can't spank it anymore. So you gotta shoot with a BB gun.
Okay, yes.
There you go.
Just kidding, audience. Okay, make sure to include your name and email address. Speak slowly, spell out your email one letter at a time. Don't touch that dial. The best of investing will be right back. Actually, sometimes you have to shoot the crows.
Really?
Actually,
Or just shoot at them, even though you don't hit them.
unless it's by accident, you hit them, right?
They're so far away. Literally, these guys are
Sometimes they're
smart.
not.
All they do, you don't even have to cock the gun. They just come out and see you with the gun, and they'll leave.
Really?
Yeah. If you just go out there to get the mail or
Some
something,
guys
they'll
must
just kind
be
of go.
shooting
But you're out there with the gun. You know what they're doing. So, Mark, give the same answer that you did.
I will.
That's funny.
I can't remember. Did you just get this phone?
Or
have you had it for a
crazy months.
Oh no, I have it. Somebody
yeah?
else. Everyone I bring it to anyone I
It's so
everywhere I go,
big.
everyone's like, I love. Well, no, they love it.
Oh yeah,
But it's big, and I'm like, no, you can fit it in your pocket.
yeah, that's right. Like now it's too small. It's funny. Usually, my old phones I used to put on the side, like this. But this one I do literally just put in my pocket. $20 in my pocket. I look incredible. I look incredible. So,
I'm so burnt on that song.
really. It's a rap. I recorded the movie Ghost, and I wanted my daughter to see that. I said, watch the movie with me, because I've seen it before. I go, make me cry a couple times,
Not
Damn.
because you're missing your game.
No, I tell you, there's listen, I saw The Wizard of Oz last night for like the 25th time.
The original.
And still, every once in a while, you get, especially at the end of Tin, where he tells the Tin Man, remember, love is not how much you love, but how much you are loved by others. Okay.
Right.
Bravo. Ready? Hit it. Let's hit it. Hit it. You ever see that movie? Hit it.
What is?
Clarence.
Like Claire.
Otis Day and the Nights.
Yeah, Otis Day and the Nights.
Otis Day.
What song? Wait, what
Animal
is?
House?
Animal House.
Oh no.
You ever
what
saw
is-
Animal House? It's a little raunchy. Don't see it.
I don't know.
You're too young
I'll
for
see
that.
it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Stop
just
it.
We always like to use just because we're the old farts around here. Okay, here we go. Welcome back to the best of investing. I'm the old fart, Edward Brown.
Stop it.
We were just teasing that off there. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark
Who's
Hahn.
the young part?
She's not a fart. She's a very nice co-host.
The
here.
young art.
That's right. We got Mark.
Yeah.
Hahn. In this corner here, we have Mark Hahn, president of Pacific Private Money.
Indeed.
In the middle corner here, we
In
we
the middle
have
corner.
we have Kathryn Harris of Karate and Karate. She's a CPA, and that stands for Certified Public Accountant. For all you people out there who don't know that, and Robert Schiff of RPM Mortgage. He's a mortgage broker. Okay, when we get to the second commercial break, and we're not drunk on tryptophan here from our Thanksgiving turkeys. We're just acting a little goofy. Okay, here is the trivia question. Again, the theme is the movie A Christmas Story. That movie. What was the phrase Ralph's mother and Santa Claus used to try to discourage Ralph about getting a Red Ryder BB gun? Mark.
I don't know the answer to that. Is it I'll be back?
I'll be back. No, that was Arnold from Terminator. Does anyone else
Close.
know? What was the?
I don't know. Is it the one that'll poke your eye out?
You'll shoot your eye out.
Oh, there you go.
Kathryn,
Close
you
enough.
two for close enough. That counts. Two for two.
Finally.
Finally.
Come on.
Yeah, we give her something from the 1970s.
It's
it's all over. The 80s is okay. Okay, Mark. Trivia. Question we got.
Truth or dare?
Truth or dare. We got an email question for you here. My bank just turned me down for a loan, and I'm thinking of calling you, but I want to know: are you going to make me get a new appraisal, or can you accept the one that I already have?
So when they say you, meaning, if the bank turned me down, so I'm thinking about going for a hard money or a private money.
Correct.
So the answer, will we make you get a new appraisal? Usually not. And so we're not required, because at Pacific Private Money, as with other hard money lenders, we're generally not in the consumer home loan business. So I'm guessing that person who wrote that email is looking to buy investment property. So with investment property, if it's a business or investment purpose, we're not under the same regulations that would require us to order our own appraisal. So that's really for the consumer home loan business. If you're buying a primary residence, they have this whole new set of guidelines in terms of more appraisals and certifications. And
Everything.
Everything, yeah. It's a night and day difference. Now, although I will tell you that even the hard money lending industry is a lot more regulated today than it was, say, 5 years ago. But in terms of appraisals, in fact, one of the regulations coming down the pike, and we're still kind of reading the legislation to make sure that it does in fact cover business purpose on purchases of residential property. We're not really sure yet how that's going to be interpreted, but we may be in a position where we have to order appraisals if you don't provide one. So there is the whole do we or do we not need to? Because one of the things about hard money in prior years was that you didn't have to order an appraisal. In fact, we've done a lot of purchase transactions where we just reviewed the transaction and the documents and did not even require an appraisal on the purchase side, because quite frankly, my personal opinion is it's usually redundant, it's silly, and it always comes in at the purchase price, right? You've got an arm's length transaction with a listing agent and a buyer's agent, and
what's the appraiser gonna come?
Right, I know. So the purchase price is $400,000 for a Bay Area property. I mean, really, is it going to come in more? Is it going to come in less? It's probably neither. It's going to come right in at $400,000 because it's an arm's length transaction.
Well, it's probably not going to come. I don't think the appraiser was going to risk saying it's worth more.
Well,
right.
That does occasionally.
It does.
Pretty
It does
rare.
occur. We're funding a loan at Pacific Private Money where it was a probate acquisition that was such a great deal that we got it independently appraised. It came in, $50,000 higher than that, which surprised me, because again, normally the appraisers are
And
not.
they know what the purchase price. Did the appraiser know what the purchase price was?
They did, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they generally know that?
They
before
gen-
they-
Yes,
Well,
they
they'll always
generally
ask.
want to see a contract or
Before,
at least-
Although I'll tell you, when I order appraisals nowadays, I won't show them, because I want them to independently
Talk about
tell me.
talk about
really.
lack of independence
Yeah,
right there.
right.
Where, what is your
Well, let me see
contract
the purchase
price?
contract, right? Yeah, because they say it because they want to see whether there are normal conditions. Is there anything special? So they want to.
Well, that's fair, but just don't tell them the amount.
because we're
Yes, exactly.
because we're private lenders are not bankers in the sense that I don't want them to agree necessarily with everybody else involved in the transaction. I really want to know what the value of that property is, so that in the event
Independently.
in the event I need to foreclose on that property because the guy doesn't make those loan payments, I want to know what I'm going to get for it. I don't want to just paper the file so that it looks hunky dory and check off all the boxes. Because I'm not packaging my loans to sell them to some third party. I'm not selling them
That's a
to
good point.
Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. So I'm not trying to paper the file. And again, this is not to disparage banks and what they do, because
That's okay. They can disperse themselves.
they're producing these investment products called promissory notes, which are basically consumer home loans, and they want to package them up and they want to have them comply with certain rules and regulations so that they can put them together in a pool and then sell them off in the form of bonds. Well, hard money loans are, we use private investor capital. We're using people's retirement funds. So we're not going to sell these loans off. In fact, the investors who fund these loans, they don't want to sell the loan. They want to enjoy the 8 to 10% return on their capital that they're getting for funding, these short-term loans to real estate investors. And so when it comes to an appraisal, I'll take the appraisal that you've already got, but we will review it. And we'll look for something that doesn't look quite right, and we'll do our own independent evaluation. We have the MLS. We'll pull up the MLS records. We'll look at Zillow. We'll look at a number of different things, looking for something that doesn't quite look right. But at the end of the day, we can use if you paid $500 for an appraisal and the appraiser is known to us, which many of them are, then that's perfectly fine. We can take that.
So it sounds like right now the law is you don't actually, currently, you're not required to even have an appraisal for hard money.
For a hard money loan that is a business or investment purpose on residential property, not a consumer loan or consumer purpose, as long as it's a business or investment purpose, at least today, I am not required to order an appraisal. Now, I am required as a DRE licensed broker to fill out a form and put valuation information in there. How did I arrive at this presumed value? And so we in those cases, we'll do our own comps and produce a little, like a broker price opinion, also called a BPO, for the file, because we are audited by the Department of Real Estate, and they will look for valuation information. So we are required to have valuation information in the file, but we're not required to order.
And when you say consumer loans, you're really talking personal residence.
Well,
Is that kind of another?
mostly, although Dodd-Frank really did something to change the way loans are viewed now, and this is with respect
That's
to
the statement of the year.
Yeah, so on residential 1 through 4 units, we're talking about residential 1 through 4 units. If it's your primary residence, then by definition it's a consumer loan. But what if you own rental property and you want to borrow from that equity to pay down your credit card debt, or to put a child through college, or to pay for a child's wedding? That's, even though you're borrowing from an investment property, that's still a consumer purpose. And so they have new guidelines now on consumer purpose. What are you using the money for? So even if you're borrowing it from an investment property, if it's for a consumer purpose, we have different guidelines that we must adhere to, and we have to disclose it differently. There's a 7-day rescission period that's mandatory. So there's a number of things that as hard money lenders we have to do differently based on the use of the funds. So that's something that's brand spanking new in the last few years. Thank you to Dodd-Frank, or Franken-Dodd.
And Robert, before we get into your email, because I want to spend some time on that, because you do mostly home loans, and it also has to do with appraisals. So we're going to get into yours after the break. But Mark, you also have a fund right now where people can invest, earning.
And so if you were listening to my answer and you heard me say how our private lender clients are earning anywhere from 8 to 10%, we have a mortgage pool fund for passive investors, and it's open to accredited investors, which means you have to have a net worth of $1 million or more, not including your primary residence. That's a new twist to it. But if you're an accredited investor and you're looking for a passive way to earn 8% or more using your savings or self-directed IRA accounts, the Pacific Private Money Fund paid in the third quarter an annualized return of 8.9%. Now, of course, the future is or past performance is no guarantee of future results, but we make our loan portfolio and incoming loan volume is very, very consistent at Pacific Private Money. So for more information on how you can earn 8% or more using your savings or retirement accounts. Give us a call at 415-883-2150. That's the phone number for Pacific Private Money based in Marin County, 415-883-2150, or go to pacificprivatemoney.com.
And what I like best about that, it's 8.9%. But here's the deal: the average loan in the portfolio, the LTV, loan to value, is only 55%. So it's not like
Wow.
it's 90%. It's not real. It's not this real risky
It's a
portfolio.
conservative, mortgage-backed fund.
And something you didn't you point out that it's still withheld. All the investments are held with you guys still after you fund it, after the deals are all funded. So there's less fees involved. It seems like you're not going to have you may not have to have an appraisal fee. If you were packaging these mortgages off and selling them, there would be more fees in there. So you actually don't realize how much more you're actually keeping in the fund and benefit from.
You could basically be more competitive than closer to a bank because of the fact that you don't have all these extemporaneous fees that the borrower would have to pay.
It's a one-stop shop. You actually feel good in the sense that you're dealing with the end user, the end product. You know the answers from point A to point Z. You don't know you actually know what happens to these mortgages after the deal's funded. They actually stay with you.
And you're the decision maker.
Yes.
Right, so it's like a private money bank,
Yeah.
Pacific Private Money Fund, and there's only two assets in the fund. It's either cash or it's a promissory note secured by mostly Bay Area real estate at 70% loan to value or less. And again, the weighted average LTV today is 55% in the fund. And
Love it.
We've got a lot of very low LTV loans in the fund. So
I like it. I
Check
have
it
some of
out.
my IRA money with them. Okay, we're going to cut to our third and final commercial break trivia question. Let's see if Kathryn can go 3 for 3 on this one. What is Ralph's social security number? No, I'm just kidding. I knew that. I saw the look on that one. Okay, again, the theme is the movie A Christmas Story. What was the name of the radio show Ralph loved to listen to that helped him decode the message about Ovaltine? Ovaltine being the answer. Or drink your Ovaltine, something like that. The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Remember, he'd come home every day from school and he'd turn on the radio. What was that program he listened to? So the first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. In the movie A Christmas Story, what was the name of the radio show that Ralph loved to listen to that helped him decode the message about Ovaltine? Make sure to include your name, your email address. Speak slowly, spell out your email 1 letter at a time. Don't touch that dial because when the best of investing comes right back, we're going to have some closing comments. And sorry about that. Another break time here, and we're going to get into the email for Robert specifically about appraisals and how it has to deal with mortgages. Closings.
Comments.
Sorry about that. Do you know the answer to this one?
the best of investing.
No, I don't.
The best-
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the radio. I'll come back to you on that. I like that. You're funny.
Very good, Mark. Very good.
That just tells you how old you are.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I get to call him the old man. He's 16. Wait, you're December 16th?
16, yeah.
You're a month older than I am. You're the old man.
Big birthday coming up, huh?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
I don't celebrate birthdays. I'm one of those.
That's what it seems like. A lot of
Old
people
farts.
are that. Well, no, it just says because someone said it. The older you get, the more you have to pay for your own birthday.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's like, wait, I have to pay, huh? No.
Yeah.
I have not
So I
had
tell
birthday.
you,
I have to pay
You
for
know what you-
everyone else to join me for dinner.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you can get me for my birthday? Don't get me anything because it costs me anyway. Yeah. So I told Eva for Christmas too. She said, "Yeah, this year for Christmas, I think we'll just we won't get each other presents." I said, "Thank you."
Let's be Scrooges for Christmas.
Well, not that. Now we're going to be doing the
Yeah,
skiing with these guys.
that's right. Absolutely.
Yeehaw.
Where you skiing?
I think it's going to North Star.
North Star. Okay, so
Nordic skiing at North Star.
I think it opens this week. Like tomorrow, today.
They're up there making snow. Oh, I got
There-
a little
yeah.
short segment here.
And I might ramble on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I talk too much.
You worry me to death.
Okay, so we'll get into your.
That's not a song she'll remember either.
No.
Talk too much. You worry me to
That. Come on, that's actually early 60s.
Early 60s, yeah.
That's the beatnik.
Come on, man.
You just talk.
You don't mind if I tease you a little bit, do you?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying I'm old now. I mean, now that I now start to do things I now say.
The songs back then were very
starting to
sexist. It
gray.
was always about the woman doing something wrong.
Or just the man treating the woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the Eagles songs are sexist too.
Really?
Yeah, they're all about
Corner winds,
cheating.
low end is a.
Can't hide those lion eyes.
Yeah, because that's the sexual revolution. Everything was free love, free AIDS. Of course, they didn't have AIDS back then. There was something else.
Did you say free AIDS?
Yeah.
We're giving it away.
Here you go.
See, Kathryn says, she goes, yeah, I'm old. I remember
It's like a
Madonna.
tic-tac.
Yeah,
I remember
seriously.
Madonna, that's right. When she was young.
Okay.
She goes, I remember Lady Gaga. Okay.
No, see, I'm
Actually, I like
I'm
Lady
not.
Gaga. I like some of her
Yes.
stuff. Some of her stuff's actually pretty good. Okay.
She's
She's very
And Monsters and
interesting.
Men. I like Monsters and Men. Talented. I like when she wore a bunch of lamb chops on. Got me all hot.
I know. What was the yes, exactly.
The meat dress.
Both me and the dog were one.
Well, she wore bacon. That would really
Oh
be
my
good.
God.
Oh,
It was,
yeah,
especially if it was cooked. Good
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Bacon. Oh, yeah.
Well, the guy who was on Shark Tank, he had an alarm clock, and you'd wake up to the smell of bacon. That's what his idea was. So I was like, that's a liability waiting to happen. Okay.
That is funny.
Okay, so you'll give your.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Well, welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hahn, Kathryn Harris, and Robert Schiff. When we got to the third commercial break, we asked this trivia question again. The theme is the movie A Christmas Story. What was the name of the radio show Ralph loved to listen to that helped him decode the message about Ovaltine?
Well, that'd be the best of investing.
That
Edward.
would not be the best of investing.
We're celebrating our 50th anniversary.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kathryn, what's the answer?
I have no
Oh
clue.
no, are they going to be 3 for 3? Does anyone know?
No.
Little Orphan Annie.
Oh, good God. Really?
Yeah, you have to listen to this. You have to watch the. How'd you know the other stuff about the white lamp?
I think I see parts of the movie.
Oh,
like,
I never the whole thing
exactly.
in one shot.
Yes.
Okay. We do have an email here for Robert that was kind of along the same lines with Mark here. It says, why won't the bank use the, and this was an angry one, why won't the bank use the appraisal I just got on my own to see how much my house was worth, to see if it made sense to refinance? So it sounds like this guy, what he did was he said, you know what, I don't know if it makes sense to refinance. I don't know if my house will appraise enough. So he went out and bought his own appraisal. And then he says, I want to use this appraisal. I don't want to pay for another one.
Unlike the hard money loans, the Dodd-Frank regulations that mortgage banks or mortgage brokers are required to stay under are much more difficult and rigorous. And anytime you get a loan on a property, the bank that you're getting the loan from has to originate the appraisal. When one of the problems that caused so much
Dismay and
dismay
And chagrin.
was that appraisers were appraising properties as they were being told to and not as the market was. So a bank would go, in fact, there were some stories in Florida where guys were doing appraisals in condos, and there was big walls and condos, there was nothing behind there. So literally empty space.
Wow.
So
What does RPM mortgage require?
they require that if you're going to get a loan from RPM Mortgage, RPM has an appraisal company affiliated with them, and that appraisal company does the appraisal. In the past, if somebody came to me to do a loan, I could go to my friends or the appraisers I knew were reputable and have them do the appraisal. Now it has to be blind. If a loan comes to my bank, or it's true for any bank, they have an affiliation with an appraisal company. The bank goes to the appraisal company and says, will you please do the appraisal? The bank can't ask for any specific appraiser or anybody. They can't ask anything can't have any input into the appraiser's appraisal for that property.
So that's an appraisal ordering service. I mean, that company you call doesn't even do the appraisal. It's a new industry that's sprouted up.
It's a total new
servicing
industry that
company
sprouted
that-
up, and all the appraisers then, when they were independent, now they had to go to these appraisal companies and get registered with the appraisal companies. And the outcome is, for the hypothetical security in the business, the client pays more than they did before, because now they pay a company, and the company takes a percentage
Right,
of the
appraisal
proceeds,
management company,
and
yeah.
the appraisers make less than they did. So the outcome is the clients pay more and the appraisers get less.
And there's someone skinning off the
There's
top.
a middleman now.
Yeah.
So the fact is, even if that person hadn't gotten their own appraisal, but they went to a credit union or a bank,
Yeah.
whose name I won't
No,
name, because I've seen it happen a lot,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get the appraisal, and then were referred to me or whomever, they can't use
You
that
would think that
appraisal.
middle company would, like, a bunch of them would spring up now and start getting the,
You-
we have to cut
Oh,
out
there
pretty,
is.
pretty
Yeah.
soon here.
Yeah, and that's true for, I mean, for anything. If you go to a bank and want to get the loan, if you go to RPM or most banks, the only out-of-pocket expense you'll have during the process would be the appraisal.
Okay, you guys are still giving really good interest rates out, so tell our audience how to get a hold of you if they want to refinance their house or buy a new house and need a mortgage.
My name is Robert Schiff. I'm a mortgage broker with RPM Mortgage, one of the largest lenders in the Bay Area and in California. Best way to get a hold of me is on my cell phone at 415-515-1941. You should go into the web and look at RPM's website. It has a lot of very interesting information, and you can get to me through there, or going through the Best
That's
of
investing. You can say Kathryn there. Okay, we got to cut out here. Here's our thoughts for the day. Rodney Dangerfield said, "I could tell my parents hated me. My bath toys were a toaster and a radio." And Bill Cosby said, "A word to the wise ain't necessary. It's the stupid ones that need the advice." That's words of wisdom there too. Tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away 9 more free vacations for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, wishing you the best of investing. So long. 5 seconds to spare.